All right, everybody, welcome back to Birds in Blue Sports. We have a couple of people here today. We got Peter, as usual. Raymond is back from out of the country scuba diving. And we have everyone's favorite Italian, Jonathan Puccio, who has requested to make his appearance this week for pretty obvious reasons. So let's kind of get right into this here. We're going to review the Super Wild Card weekend that just happened. Lots of crazy football. No shenanigans, which I was kind of happy about. Very minimal shenanigans from the refs that affected any games, which is always good. But the first game of the weekend was Browns Texans, and holy crap, it was a good game for, the first quarter and then halfway through the second. And then the Texans just went ballistic. They dropped 48 on one of the NFL's best defenses at home with I don't even want to call CJ Stroud rookie quarterback anymore.
Put some respect on the kid's name.
He's a top seven quarterback easily. And Browns just was too slow. They couldn't catch up, and the Texans just ran with it, and they move on.
I'm going to go as far as a top five quarterback. I
Mm.
think he's already a top five quarterback.
Can I say it's a damn shame that the MVP voting stops before the playoffs because this kid
Might deserve it.
He might
Yeah.
deserve it. Pretty.
I mean, after his performance on Saturday, hell yeah.
I thought it was going to be somewhat of a game, but I really thought that the Browns were going to win by at least like 10. And they got their fucking teeth kicked in.
Yep. It was gross.
That was Flacco's first loss in a wild card game ever.
That's also why I was kind of confident picking Cleveland, because I was like, this guy has just been there and done that. He knows how to get past this first round. So, that's why I was just so shocked. Like, CJ Stroud just came in, and D'Amico Ryans, they were just like, nope, we're here.
They couldn't run the ball. And that is what made Cleveland a threat because they just grind you down. They run. They play great defense. And then Flacco was playing the best football of his life up until Saturday. And then he turned into New York Jets Joe Flacco.
Yikes.
Yikes is right.
Those pick sixes were back breakers.
Yeah. I mean,
no coming back from that.
The game was over in the third quarter. I mean, at that point, it was just a formality.
D'Amico Ryan's scheme from that game was so fucking perfect. He had them so prepared. I mean, like, he fucking just shoved the football down their throat and left it to them, man. I mean, that was just an outstanding performance for your first head coach playoff game.
And with your rookie quarterback. It's just 16.
I got no words for how. And listen, they got to go and play this week on the road, but still, you knocked off a team that should have advanced, easily should have advanced. So kudos to them. I got to tip my cap.
We talked about this all year long that Houston played like a team that didn't know they were supposed to be losing games, and that's exactly the mentality they brought into this playoff game. Not supposed to win. Oh, it's a great story. Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach in the playoffs. Woo woo! Congratulations. Here's your participation medal. See you next year. Nope. Flipped it. Dominated. Don't count them out this week.
I'm not counting them out. But I just, we're not at predictions yet, but I'm not quite there yet. Ray, what'd you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I can't sum it up any better, man. Those were interesting games to say the least. Like, I didn't expect half those games to go the way they did, but yeah, some people out there making statements, and other teams are out there just
shit in the bed.
Yeah, I mean, don't even get me started on the Cowboys yet.
We're not there.
Oh
Don't.
no, I'm a
We're not
fan.
there yet.
I'm a fan. Don't worry, I'm ready to roll.
All right.
I'm ready to roll. So
We're
when
not
I'm
we
there.
just
get to that,
I'm so excited for the last half of the football games that the first half didn't even matter to me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. All right, let's move to the Dolphins Chiefs game that was next on the schedule. Um, I mean, no surprise here. I mean, I don't think there was a soul alive that thought Miami was going to go into Kansas City and beat them, especially with Kansas City knowing how to play in the cold. They're at home. I mean, Tua doesn't know how to play in the cold. He doesn't even know what the cold is. He was born and raised in Hawaii, went and played college football in Alabama. Like, he doesn't know -4 degrees cold. He doesn't even know what the fuck that is. And he plays in Miami half the time. So
they have to be the 1 seed with Tua to ever be able to get to the Super Bowl because he just like you said, he just doesn't know how to get it done. And I mean, nobody thought. I mean, at least to what I think, no one thought that they were going to go in and beat the Chiefs that easy. So they got their fucking ass kicked, and I kind of expected it.
I mean, -27 with the wind chill, water turning immediately to ice cubes, beers exploding into frozen slushies, and then you have some schmuck fucking Dolphins fan. Sorry, Mike Tellep, not you. Shirtless, screaming at the top of his lungs.
he
No.
might have been one of the 15 guys that were treated for hypothermia at the local hospital.
I hope he was. I hope he was. But
Yep, 15 guys, frostbite and hypothermia. They had to treat the hospital.
like you guys said, dealing with the elements, it's not something that the South Beach boys are used to. The only one that is used to it is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
But another team shutting down the run. Mostert couldn't get going. Achane couldn't get going. I mean, you make it one-dimensional. There it is. Patrick
So
Mahomes.
weird, especially with a guy like Mostert who has dominated in the playoffs, just nowhere to be seen. That's
He was coming off an injury, so I don't know if he was exactly 100%, but regardless, running game was non-existent, and Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is a proven thing. 2-time Super Bowl winner. Studs play when it matters the most. So, I mean, just because Travis Kelce's too busy looking at Taylor Swift in that custom jacket that she was rocking, trying to look through like it's a Christmas window at Macy's. Didn't have a shot, but
I just think that with the Chiefs, doesn't matter what their record is going to be in the regular season. You just know that they're going to be a different team come playoff time. Like,
yeah, but it didn't feel that way
7,
this year.
11-6, like, don't matter.
It didn't feel that way this year. I mean, they were, I still don't think they're impressive. I really just think it came down to that shitty excuse of playing football in the elements and that the Dolphins just didn't show up. I don't think the Chiefs are that crazy on offense. Like, you had Rasheed Rice who blew up.
They'll prove it to everyone this week if they go into Buffalo and they beat them.
Yeah.
I think I can hold with what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I think this is the litmus test.
Yeah, they limped into the playoffs. We all know that. It's not a secret. But I just think a battle-tested team like that, you've been to the playoffs every year, basically. It's routine for them. It was nothing new. Like the Dolphins, this was new. And then take that going into -27-degree wind chill weather. Like, it's hard to overcome that. But
what is the Dolphins playoff drought now? They have the longest active playoff win drought.
They haven't won a playoff game since 2000.
Ew.
Well, my team's next. We haven't won a playoff game since 2002. So,
good.
What?
That's
my
great.
For the record, that
God.
wasn't the one I wanted to pick.
That wasn't the
Good
one you wanted to
Lord.
pick.
No, hold on. It's
Listen,
just as good.
it just goes to say, it doesn't matter if you win a playoff game. If you don't win a Super Bowl, it means nothing. So this half of the chat can talk about it.
Yeah, this half right here.
Yeah, we all have different screens. So like you're to my left right now.
That's true. So my half, you're right beneath me right here. So I'm gonna go like this.
Yeah, this is like the Brady Bunch right now. I got Pucci underneath me right now. I got Brett diagonal to me.
You're all at the top of my
Over
screen.
here.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah, Chiefs dominated Miami. Dolphins plan on sticking with Tua. They're gonna offer him a contract this offseason, which I guess is
Still a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean he played as a top tier quarterback this year, but at the same time, it's like, you know, again, I'm gonna get more to this in another game that we're gonna get to in a minute here. But I don't like if you can't perform when the clock, when the pressure's on in the moment, like you play 17, 18 games all year, right? It comes down to once you get past that point, everybody's playing one game at a time.
Mhm.
And if you don't show up repeatedly, you're the problem. I don't care if you get there every year. I don't care if you get to the playoffs every year. If you can't prove yourself in that moment, then what good are you?
Preach.
If I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm sitting there saying, sell Tua. Go out to somebody who's quarterback hungry and offer them, here, I'll give you this top 10 quarterback. Pay me in riches.
I
agree.
Also just want to point out that I said hammered down the under on this game. So I hope all of you listen to me because we cashed in on the under.
Good.
I mean, I loved sitting in a foreign country, third world country, and not being able to bet watching all you hooligans win. So yeah.
I only hit one parlay this weekend, and I would have hit the Steelers and Bills parlay if Najee Harris had 3 more rushing yards.
Ooh, I hate to see it.
That's fucking pain. Speaking of the Steelers and Bills, next game was Steelers and Bills in Buffalo.
I mean, let's can we skip this one because again, like everybody in the world knew that the Bills were going to win this game. They're a fraudulent team. Yeah, now we have 2 fraudulent teams in the Bills and the Chiefs playing this week. 2 teams that shouldn't be there, but destiny aligns, and here we are again. But at the same time, like the Steelers, you know what? Kudos to Mike Tomlin for even getting his team to that point with fucking Mason Rudolph behind the, how that team was even there was fascinating. But I mean, honestly, good for the Steelers for showing up and playing, hardy football. But come on,
It's coming back.
baby hands, full baby hands.
Mike Tomlin is indeed returning for an 18th year there.
Mike Tomlin can be one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yeah,
Baby hands, number 1 quarterback.
I just think that, I mean, they tried their best. It's just the Steelers are not talented. There's not a lot of talent there. And Mike Tomlin, if it wasn't for Mike Tomlin, they'd be a 4-win team. But because Mike Tomlin is alive and breathing, he will you an extra 6 wins. So
yeah,
the Steelers will always be right. The Steelers right now will always kind of be, 10 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins. They're like in that purgatory area, where they're always making the playoffs, but they're not good enough to beat the other teams in the playoffs, and they're not bad enough to get a high enough pick. So you're kind of like stuck, like, I don't know. I'd rather be complete ass. This way I know I'm going to get a franchise changing player at some point.
They need to trade Mike Tomlin to make that franchise a Super Bowl contender because you need to collect. You can get multiple first-round picks from Mike Tomlin.
No,
which is crazy. You're talking about a head coach.
No team's
a head coach. Come on, bro.
It's not.
I don't know. That's kind of like saying like the Rams would trade somebody like Sean McVay. You don't do that.
It worked for the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2002.
Yeah, but that was the last time it worked. So
It was the only other time,
I know, because it doesn't happen.
but it works.
Sure, let's see it happen.
Sure. All right, we'll go with Ray on this one. Obviously, not too much to talk about with Steelers and Bills. Let's get to the game that everyone really wants to talk about. Obviously, Packers Cowboys in Jerry World in Big D. Right from the first drive, I went, "Oh no!"
Hang on, wait. Moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
Moments past, continue.
That first drive from Green Bay, I went, "Oh no, this is not good."
You smell this? You smell this smell that's coming in right here? This beautiful smell? This is vindication for what I have been screaming on these airwaves all fucking year. And I'll lead it to John.
So, you guys ready?
We're ready.
I've been a fan for this team. Now, I am a fan of football, baseball, and hockey. Okay. After that game,
Ranger fan, by the way, Ranger fan.
Ranger fan, Yankee fan, Cowboy fan.
Two out of three.
After that game, I just look at sports so completely different. I mean, you fucking just depleted me. I don't even care if you're good. I don't care if you're bad. What is there to think? It's like, okay, sure, here's the fucking book, but I know the ending every fucking year. So why do I care? Why do I care? I don't care if Dak Prescott throws 50 fucking touchdowns. I know what's going to happen, whether it's the first round or the second round. And if he ever even gets to the third round, which this will probably maybe be his last year upcoming. I know that it'll probably be Mike McCarthy's last year unless they make like a title game, but I don't care. I've gotten to a point where I don't fucking care. So after that game, fuck you. I hate you, and I'll be back. That's just how it is. It's just
I am ready to be hurt again.
I'm ready to be hurt again, but I look at it differently now where I'm not going to invest so much of my time just to get upset. It's the truth. It's all what it is. That's how it's going to go. I start to question, will they even win a Super Bowl in my lifetime? I mean, I'm 23 years old here.
Oh, you're a baby.
Maybe when I'm 90.
Yeah, ask Pete how that feels.
You're a baby. I don't want to hear your complaints right
now. No. I can never hear that I'm spoiled or fucking, oh, you guys have the most championships. I haven't even seen it out of all of my friends, any other team. We are the team that has not been to a title game in the longest out of any other team. Let that sink in. Not even a title game.
And you know what? I applaud you for being the first Cowboys fan that has ever spoken reasonably in my life.
So I'm pretty reasonable. I mean, I'm not.
He has a track record of being pretty decent.
Listen,
I appreciate it.
I'm not.
You've actually softened me on Cowboys fans.
I give a fair, honest answer, and I just get so questioned. Like, you bring back Mike McCarthy after another year? Like, I get it. Listen, I get it. He does a I'm not going to say a phenomenal job, but he does a solid job in the regular season that gives you 12 wins a year. But they go with the same scheme every single game when playoff time comes, and it's so predictable. It's like they have the book right in front of them, the opposing team, and they just pick them apart, whether it's San Francisco or the Packers or whoever the fuck they verse.
But here's my question, right? Here's my question.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's funny. I was on shift yesterday in the firehouse, and about 4 out of the 11 guys are Cowboys fans. And when that Mike McCarthy news broke, the collective sigh across the room was amazing. But here's my point: you have a team with Mike McCarthy that was one of the number one ranked defenses in the league for multiple weeks of the season, and you let Jordan Love come into your house and look like an all-star. Now, I've ranted about Cowboys for a long time here, but I've ranted more about Jordan Love.
Joe loves Jordan Love, listener of the podcast.
Jordan Love, listener of
Zero.
the podcast.
Oh, good riddance. You suck. You're going to be back to mediocrity next week. Anyway,
Oh, God,
I just don't understand. I don't understand what happens, how you have a meltdown of that epic of a proportion, and you bring back the same guy. Like you're saying, you're expecting the same results. Like you're sitting there saying,
it's not even just Mike McCarthy. It's like
it's everybody.
Did Dan Quinn even show up to the game? Like, did he show up to the building? Like,
where were Jerry Jones wasn't an Alzheimer's patient, I would if I'm him, I'm walking into that locker room and I'm going, "You're fired. You're fired." I'm like Trump in the old days with the fucking show.
You're fired.
Like, you're fired. You're
yeah,
fired.
like
Pack your shit. You're out.
Yeah,
right.
No, I get it, but you know what? The problem is, listen, I love Jerry Jones, I do, but he has to just step the fuck away from the team. Like, you're like these, you become their buddies, and it just isn't I don't want to say professionalism, but it's not a way to go about winning. You can't have the owner like.
There's too much talent on that
players'
team.
necks, too much spotlight. Like, just fucking, like, I almost wish that the spotlight would come off them, like as if they were the Bengals from a few years back, and just like relax and just fucking go play football. Like, stop with this.
Jerry is the GM, right?
He's the GM as well, and he needs to hire a GM. And let it just be Will McClay, because he basically is the GM, but he needs to hold that label. So, you know, he always needs to be in the spotlight, and I think it's really shooting him in the fucking foot. I really do. I think it's shooting him in the foot. I think that he needs a puppet coach, because he wants to hold the credit for if he gets to win another Super Bowl again, because he wants to say, "Oh, well, I did it." And I could see why a guy like Bill Belichick, I heard just rumors. Nothing was confirmed by like an Adam Schefter or an Ian Rappaport, but I heard that they reached out to Bill Belichick, and he said, "I have no interest," because you know what, Bill is a type of guy that he wants to run the team himself, and that's fair. And the head coach should be doing that. It shouldn't have the owner coming down saying, "Hey, you know, we got to do this and do that and yada, yada, yada." You know, that's the head coach's job. And if you don't have full faith in the head coach, then you might as well be the fucking head coach, you know? So listen, they're just going to do this every year until something drastically changes. So that's all I have to say, man. I don't know what else to say.
So I will interject here. And I brought this up to one of the chats I'm in. I'm in fucking, 38, and it's really ridiculous. I said that, maybe there is just too much pressure for the Cowboys to win. Like, there's just so much pressure for them to win in the playoffs that it's so insurmountable that, like, the players just crumble. Like,
they crumble.
They crumble. But why?
Every game.
What's the two reasons why?
Every game that they play is a Super Bowl. Some of these regular season games, it's like, we have 62 million views on CBS. It's like, dude, like, they can't have a chill pill of it. Like, thinking like a player's perspective, like, bro, like, I get it. It's the NFL. It's an NFL game. You're at the top, but like, dude, like, one little mistake, you are like crucified. So,
well, you know what? They're the most popular team. They're America's team. So they're always going to be in the spotlight. And Jerry Jones doesn't help with that. Jerry Jones, exactly.
He loves if they weren't America's team, my God, that guy would.
They save their own ass every year by drafting an all-pro, at least one pro bowler or an all-pro in the draft every fucking year. And it just doesn't make sense because if you look at how many all-pros and pro bowlers and just all these guys that just look phenomenal in the regular season, and it's just they shit the bed. They shit the bed. And I don't know if it's a mixture of both the players and the coaches, or if it was just a terrible coaching job. But if you guys watch the full game, there was guys like Luke Musgrave who were fucking wide open with nobody in sight. There wasn't a defender in sight on some of these touchdowns. That's why I'm like, did you just take like $1 million bribe by like the Packers owner or something? Like, what the fuck? Really?
Just,
like, it was the worst. It was the worst coaching I've ever seen in a Cowboys game ever. I've never seen them coached that bad.
CeeDee Lamb, I was one CeeDee Lamb touchdown away from cashing pretty good parlay. And he had one in his hand, almost a one-handed back of the end zone, draped coverage.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
And
about.
I was very heartbroken about that. But I want to give CeeDee Lamb his flowers because I'm a CeeDee believer. And
listen, he's undisputed. I think he's fairly a top 3 receiver in the league after this year. I mean, he had a phenomenal year. But like I said, man, well, you know what? I don't want to make that actually sound like, I'm blaming directly in him. Like, I think it was a collective loss together. But like I said, like, it just doesn't make any sense how there's no repercussions or consequences that Jerry puts this team through. It's like, oh, we're going to run it back and we're going to trust the process. Like, that's where and how do you expect the fan base to buy back in? Like, look at it from my view, man. I don't understand the picture.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, a lot of questions now for the Cowboys. Obviously Mike McCarthy's going to come back for the last year of his deal. Dak Prescott will be on the last year of his deal. I don't know if the Cowboys want to pay him $60 million to just
lose
in the playoffs, because like this is what Dak is. Like there's no more.
Right. And I get it. Like, but until I think that this upcoming year will be a fine determination to them to say, did he get us to the title game? And if not, we got to move on. And like, did Mike McCarthy get us to the title game at least? No. Okay. Well, we got to move on. Like, you can't extend these guys. Like, listen, I understand from their view, it's like, let's run it back one more year. But then they have to view it from the fan base and say there's just such a good head coaching time to have an opportunity to bring another guy in. So I don't know. Very questionable.
It could be why Jerry Jones traded for Trey Lance, maybe to just sit him. He gave up a 4th round pick for Lance, and maybe he throws him out there next year. Maybe he throws him out there in 2 years to kind of reset the quarterback market. Because, when you could reset it like that, you could just open things for you as a team. But I think one thing that's kind of lost in this conversation here is Jordan Love is legit. Like, I'm sorry. He had a really rough first couple months, but he finished with 32 total touchdowns, which was 4th most in all of football.
Him and Matt LaFleur definitely found a chemistry together. And listen, I tip my cap to both of them because they found a way to just knock off a really good team.
I mean, since week 12, Jordan Love leads the league in passer rating. He has 1 interception since week 13. I mean, he's very quietly been one of the best quarterbacks in football. But The team around him is just like, it's not really ready yet. Like, it's not really there. But it's like, you know what? The Packers did it again. Like, they're going to go from Favre to Rodgers. Now they just went to Love. Like, it's like that Breaking Bad meme. How does he keep getting away with it? But
Oh, don't you spoil anything for me. You know I have to watch a damn show.
that's not a spoiler. It's a common meme. You've
Is
seen
it?
Yeah, you've
Is
seen
it?
it maybe
You'll
100
understand
times.
it later on.
Yeah,
I'll
you
understand it
understand it
later
later.
on. I'm just busting your balls.
So that was that. Let's solid monologue there from Mr. Puccio. But we're gonna see, look, for everyone. Very good, very good. We're gonna move on to Rams Lions. Matthew Stafford's return to Detroit, and this game was very, very good. I mean, the Lions started off hot. The blue
Detroit blue right there.
Detroit blue right there. Lions started off hot, scored a bunch. Rams kind of caught back up. Lions kind of got slowed down a little bit in the second half. Rams were kind of inching their way back in, but the Lions were able to hold off the rally. They win 24-23, their first home playoff win since in 32 years. Just couldn't be happier for that fan base and for that team. There were people crying in the stands, like legit. Everyone was just crying, and you just, it's so easy to root for him. Like, it's just so easy to root for him. You know, Matt Stafford was a little salty that, he got booed there. It's like, what do you expect, bro? Like, you're the opposition for the team's playoff chances. Like, of course you're going to get booed. Like, what did you, like, if it was a regular season game and you came back in,
He would have gotten
Go
he would have gotten
packages.
tears.
They would have.
yeah,
Given
exactly.
a Rolex. They would
And
have.
he was all mad in the fucking post game, and he's like, "Yeah, I was happy for the players that Detroit won." It's like, dude, why are you so salty? You know how this works. You're a fucking quarterback. Like, you are on the enemy team that is trying to stop their team from winning their
From
first
advancing,
playoff game
of course.
in
Yeah.
32 years. Of course, they're going to boo you. Like, that's how this works.
You know who I was happy for? Vindication for Jared Goff.
Yes, vindication for Jared Goff.
That man was the lost piece in that trade that sent Stafford over, and Stafford won the Super Bowl, and Goff was just shipped off to Detroit to just slowly die. And then he popped up and said, "Guess what? I'm back, baby."
Dude, no one gives that guy any credit ever. He is
I do
consistent.
not either. I shit on him in our preseason QB rankings, and I personally apologize to you, Jared Goff.
He is top 15.
But the best.
He's top 15 every single year he's ever played. No one ever talks about him, but whenever he gets in the playoffs, that guy fucking wins in the playoffs. He's got ice in his veins. He's built for the
He
moment.
always wins at least one game.
He always wins. He's always winning.
And he looks like Ryan Gosling. The guy is beautiful.
The guy is beautiful. So very happy for the Detroit Lions. But what an effort by the Rams, finishing the season 7-1 to make the wild card.
Shout out to the rookies for Detroit. That team is built on rookies. Offense, defense.
Built through the draft.
Jahmyr Gibbs, solid. He had an okay game. I mean, Sam Laporta, I just got to give him the dog award on this one after a week before getting his knee almost bent in half backwards. And
he's playing on something torn. I'm convinced he's playing on something torn. It's
that he has that Mondo brace on his knee.
Yep.
And I mean, he didn't do much in this game, but the fact that he was out there.
Didn't he score a touchdown?
He did.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown, and he's on a torn ACL. I know he is. So, dog. What do you think, Ray?
I think he's also on a shit ton of fucking roids and painkillers, probably.
Oh, yeah, well, duh.
Like, He's out there stretching and fucking cortisoned up right before they go out of the locker room.
For it all special right there.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yep.
that.
Yeah, they have it right in his ass, just like
Yeah.
training room like this.
He gets hit hard enough, he's gonna look at water sprinkler coming out of him.
No, he has a live port that goes right into his knee.
Oh,
But no, that was the most exciting game of the weekend for me.
yeah,
I mean, every other game was kind of lopsided. This was like a game, and
That was
Love
I
it.
thought that was the best game of the weekend for sure.
Yeah. easily. Which brings us to the last game of the weekend, and this was just, I loved every second of
this
this.
was the old chef's kiss on the weekend.
You know, so I said a week ago that Tampa Bay would beat the Eagles, and they crushed them. And so did Pete right over here. Gotta give him credit too. The last time a team that finished 1-5 into the postseason, the last team to win a playoff game going 1-5 was in the year 2000. So
And who did it?
I don't remember. I should have checked it, but it doesn't matter.
Might have been the Miami Dolphins because that was the last time.
Oh, it might have been the Dolphins. It might have been the Dolphins. But even then, like, history was not on the Eagles' side. There was no A.J. Brown.
It might have been the Baltimore Colts, and so fucking long ago.
There was no A.J. Brown. Like, it was so clear that the locker room was disjointed. I mean, as soon as, like, I knew something was really, really, really wrong when Tyrod Taylor and the Giants beat him by halftime. And I was like, wow, there is something seriously wrong going on in Philly right now for them to just get annihilated by a bunch of fucking horrible players. So Tampa Bay, Baker, and Chris Godwin just torched them. I mean, just the secondary for the Eagles is non-existent. That team is filled with aging veterans that are going to be leaving. You know, Fletcher Cox is set to be gone. Jason Kelsey is expected to announce his personal retirement.
Shout out to Jason Kelsey, though.
Shout out
I mean, to being
Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, you can hate the Eagles all you want, like us, but give that man his fucking flowers because all around just human being, professional sports player. I mean, what more can you say about him? You know, if anything, I don't care who you're a fan of. That man is the epitome of class, and I'm just glad he's gone because now there's only room for 162 left in this motherfucker.
Yeah, listen, as a football fan, it sucks to see him go. As a Giants fan, it doesn't suck at all. So, but greatest center ever. No question about it. He deserves
He redefined it. He redefined the position.
He completely redefined the position. He came in undersized. That's why he fell in the draft. And so, but now he's the model of what to look for in a center. So hats off to him. But you know, this all of a sudden, this window that we thought that the Eagles had of this Super Bowl dominance is like so not what we thought it was.
It just closed.
Yeah, it might have just it could have just closed. I mean, they need
Antonio Brown, or not Antonio Brown.
AJ Brown hates everyone there.
He's gone.
Yeah, he might be gone. He might get traded during the draft. I mean, there's serious locker room issues, and I think it has to do with AJ Brown. I think there's something to do with Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts took a big step back this year.
I think Jalen Hurts he's legit hurt.
I don't care at all.
I'm not saying that you do care. I'm just saying that
if you are listen, he is the second highest paid player in the history of the sport. If you are healthy enough to play, you will play. I don't want to hear the injury excuse for him. This guy was just in the Super Bowl. If he didn't get hurt the last 2 weeks in the last season, he probably would have won MVP. But listen, he's not a scrub. I think Jalen Hurts is a good player. He's a good quarterback. He's definitely, not bottom tier or even mid tier. But to say that this guy is top 3 elite, I think was a serious overreach and misstep. And I think that proved this year that he needs a really good team around him. He needs the right coaching around him. But hey, that's a pretty damn good system quarterback. So I just think that's just what he is. And obviously it's proven that someone like him can take you to the Super Bowl. But there's a lot of changes that have to happen in Philly. Like they have to get new coaches, new coordinators, because it looks like they're keeping Sirianni, which as a Giants fan I love because that guy's terrible. It's a lot of changes have to happen for Philly. Jason Kelsey's going to be gone. A lot of Fletcher Cox is going to be gone. There's just going to be a lot of turnover. I think the Eagles are going to be a really different team next year. It's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, spot on. Can't say it much better than that.
Yeah, I tip my cap to a guy like Jason Kelsey. Outstanding career, great guy off the field. Very likable guy. I'm a Dallas fan, so obviously didn't enjoy having to verse him, but I can't take his characteristics and personality and game away from him. So, heck of a career to him. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, the Eagles just kind of imploded at the end of the season. I feel like it was not almost, it was definitely more expected for Eagles fans to get disappointed and expect a loss versus Dallas just getting ready to get their heart ripped out. So I feel like Eagles fans after that loss don't feel as stabbed as hard. So yeah, it's really how I felt after this weekend.
All right. And, shout out to Baker Mayfield. Got to give him some credit too.
Yep.
He's really brought that team back. Imagine having to fill in for Tom Brady, year after he retires, and that guy brings him to the playoffs, wins the division. Todd Bowles doing a pretty decent job down there this year. But yeah, I mean, Baker on a 1-year, $4 million prove it deal. And, now he's going to get paid. This is, now he's going to get paid. So good for them. Good for him. So yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up the football super wildcard weekend review. Me and Pete made our head coaching carousel predictions. So we'll have you guys predict your head coaches for the current openings, since no new openings were made in Dallas or Philly. So as of right now, Gerard Mayo is the head coach of the Patriots, which pretty much everyone thought that was going to happen. It was written into his contract. He would be the successor to Bill Belichick. So we could kind of cross the Patriots off the list. But no other team has hired anybody yet. So I'll kind of go team by team. I'll ask both Ray and John here who they think will be the head coach. And we'll see what the answers are here. So first off, this one might be kind of easy, but who do you guys think is coaching the Falcons next year? We'll start off with Ray.
I mean, everybody says all rumors are pointing to Bill Belichick. I don't know why I think that's a shitty situation for him to walk into, other than the owner literally giving him carte blanche and saying, do your thing, do Bill Belichick things to my team, and hoping for the best. But yeah, I mean, I really don't hear any other names swirling around that besides Bill Belichick, so I'm just going to go with that.
What do you think, John?
Hey, wait, you think that's
I think it just all the arrows point to Bill Belichick at the moment. I'd be a little surprised if he doesn't end up going there, but we've seen this numerous times where a guy just out of nowhere gets hired. They have definitely, I've seen a lot of reports that they've interviewed a lot of guys. I even saw that they interviewed Jim Harbaugh. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we've seen some shockers in the past. For example, the Giants signing Joe Judge.
Listen, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that I deleted that from my memory.
Yeah, who's that actually?
That guy eats hot dogs.
There's only one guy worse than that.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, I can't mention his name. It disgusts me. Make me vomit.
Oh, let's hear it. Come on, let's hear it.
No, I can't, because then I'm going to talk about Eli and Gino, and it's going to go
We're not doing
it's going to derail the train.
Pete had a question for Ray.
Fucking hair.
So Ray, why? Because Zach and I talked about this last week that Atlanta was one of our more attractive job opportunities teams to go to. Why do you say that's a bad situation?
Okay, number one, who's your quarterback? Who is the center point of your offense?
You get a quarterback.
Well, I mean,
Who?
they'll take
How?
Bo Nix at 8.
Yeah. Okay. So your best case scenario is you're drafting a rookie. Cool. Next,
Any
who's
rookie
catching?
would be better than those guys. Any
Who's
rookie in that
catching the
class.
ball?
Who's catching?
All right, what if you trade for Justin Fields?
Do we really want to get me started on this?
I mean, do we?
Oh,
I'm not making any.
my
I'm not making
God.
any nipple bets on Justin Fields right
Ray,
now. So
Ray, you need to listen. As a Giants fan, you need to prepare yourself because Justin Fields might be a legitimate option for the Giants at quarterback. Okay.
and what did I say? It is marked on these airwaves. If Justin Fields is a Giant next year, I am packing all of my Giant stuff into a box. I'm placing that box in a disclosed place with marked on it, "Do not open until Fields is gone."
And then Ray's going to get 2 double nipple piercings.
So you would rather have Daniel Jones than Justin Fields?
Oh no, I'd rather have neither.
So we're back to Tommy Cutlets then.
We're back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Tommy.
yeah. Roll fucking Tommy Cutlets out there before either of those fools, please.
You know, listen, they play the Sopranos music when he comes out, so I don't
Dude, MetLife was rocking with that kid. I'm all about the energy. I don't care if we went 0
I
and
just
16.
wish that, like, as a fan of football in general, like from looking at it, like just not as a Cowboys fan, if it would be sick because there's so much invested into him that he actually became their franchise guy and became good for them. Like turned them
if he
around.
had the potential to be a real
I
star.
think everyone would love to see that, you know?
It would have been the best story ever.
I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's
The real star was
yeah, he's not going to go anywhere. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he can be, maybe they build a really good team down the line where they have a 6 stacked lineup and maybe he is like another. Yeah, I know. That's ways. They have ways to go, but they.
he's not the.
I don't know. Maybe he's a good game manager. He becomes.
I just don't see success in this team's future in the near future at all. Like
no.
I have a 5 to 6 year window where I'm like,
maybe
it's just evident that
Don Bosco prep and coach there.
The next Giant Super Bowl quarterback is probably playing at Don Bosco right now, and we don't even know it.
I think from here on out for the next at least 2 years, it'll be just either Philly or Dallas winning the division. The Giants just have so many holes. Their offensive line is just fucking grandma's trying to block.
Second worst rated offensive line in NFL history.
Yeah. It's just bad at every turn.
It's just like having 5 Ray Charles in front of your face.
84 allowed sacks.
That's good.
Imagine if they didn't have Andrew Thomas. Like if they didn't have Andrew Thomas, it probably would have been 100 sacks.
It's awesome.
Anyway, we sidetracked, which is fine. That happens a lot. The Chargers. So me and Pete had an interesting pick for our Chargers head coach. John, who do you think the Chargers head coach will be?
You know, I'm still kind of indecisive on this because I feel if Harbaugh does decide to come back to the NFL, that's who they'll land. If he does not, I think it'll maybe be a guy like Mike Vrabel. I just can't give a legitimate answer without knowing what the decision Harbaugh is going to make. It's really tough on that.
the report came out today that his chances of returning to Michigan are slim. Like he's
Yeah,
coming.
they're already interviewing
Really?
new Michigan coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Wow. Okay. So if I was a betting man, I'd probably pick hit the Chargers to land Harbaugh. Yeah.
What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think it's Harbaugh's to give up or not. I mean, and if I am Jim Harbaugh, yeah, I want to go play in LA. Like, why not? You have Justin Herbert, who's a good talent. He just needs to be developed, and I think Jim Harbaugh is the right guy to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Harbaugh. I don't see any other coaches really drawn to it. I think if for some reason, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, the Chargers are definitely my top option. I personally would love to go to Vegas, but I think with all the things that are going on there, I think that's AP's job to lose. Um, yeah, there's nowhere else I would want to go. There's nowhere else where I could look as a coach who just won a natty, and I'm going into a situation where I want to make a splash right now. The Chargers have to be your best option.
Yeah. All right. Next on the list would be the Commanders. Me and Pete have Mike Vrabel as our choices for the Commanders head coach. What do you guys think?
I think it's Ben Johnson.
Okay.
I don't think it will be Mike Vrabel. I think it could be a guy like Ben Johnson. I think that they go young and they hire a coordinator. I think that their experiment with hiring a established coach failed too many times for them, where I think that they just need to make a change. They just have new ownership. They're trying to get it right. Uh, I don't know if a guy like Mike Vrabel will even have interest in even going there. I think that they're just a complete shithole. I think it's better off that they go and hire a guy that's younger to grow with the team, start from the ground up. I think that a guy like Mike Vrabel needs to either be a defensive coordinator for a year or go to a contender. That's kind of how I feel.
Okay. Next would be the Raiders. Even though it does kind of look like they're gonna hire Antonio Pierce. So
AP to LV, baby. Let's do it.
yeah, it's all signs are pointing to that. I originally had Jim Harbaugh as my pick to coach the Raiders, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So I mean,
AP. It's the only one.
yeah. Do you guys think any other coach will be there besides AP? If not,
I think
No.
okay.
It will be a mutiny if
Yeah, it would be a mutiny at that point.
Crosby.
Yeah.
The fact that Max Crosby has gone out and said, "Trade me if you don't bring back AP." Flashbacks of Khalil Mack getting traded. You cannot trade your
star.
the defensive player of the year, the heart and soul of your team, because you lose Max. Devontae is going to go play with Aaron. It's a domino that you just don't want to fall. And no.
Listen, I think that the Raiders actually did all the right things by firing the head coach, GM, sitting Jimmy G. They
Speak on it, kid.
They need to do the right thing by keeping Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
They want to play for him. The guys want to play for him. So it's just a no-brainer. You keep him.
All right.
Wait, real quick. Ray kind of looks like Max Crosby, actually. It's pretty like him. Kind of looks like him. Shout out. Both gingers.
Tattered up.
Two of my favorite gingers right there.
Ray just needs about 30 gallons of steroids and HGH.
I'm on a path. I'm on the path.
So next would be the Seahawks. I mean, now we're kind of getting into teams that we're not really too sure. So this is very much kind of like a guessing game. But the only concrete thing I've kind of seen out of Seattle is, Dan Quinn going to Seattle. That's who I got. They're going there.
Ciao.
What do you think, John?
I don't
Bon
recall.
voyage. Hope you enjoy. Fucking asshole. Bald-headed prick. Like, good. Go. I don't care if you go.
What do you think, Ray?
I think it's Quinn or
It's
Raheem Morris's.
Or who?
Morris.
Who's that?
Raheem Morris.
Raheem
Oh,
Morris, yeah.
I didn't hear
yeah.
the first name. I was like,
Yeah, Raheem Morris.
Morris.
Raheem Morris.
Now, who would?
And the only reason I say Dan Quinn and maybe not Dan Quinn is because, again, you go back to that Cowboys game. I think that epic collapse of a number one defense, and that's your DC. I think that's a very telling sign. And if I'm the Seahawks looking to retool my system, and I know he's been part of the Seahawks system for a long time, but you can only judge on current events, and current events tells me that this guy's out of touch. This guy doesn't have the capability to maintain a number one defense. You had the number one defense and you lost it.
I saw a statistic against top five defense. It's top five offenses. I'm sorry, this year, the Cowboys allowed average of like 28.5 points. So it just goes to tell you that wherever Dan Quinn goes to coach, he can't get his defense to step up against a good offense, a top five offense.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Seahawks might go with Quinn because of the familiarity. He has a relationship with Pete Carroll. So, I mean, we'll kind of see. That's kind of what my prediction is for that. Who the hell wants to coach the Carolina team?
I'll get paid. I'll go do it.
I think it's going to be the Dolphins OC, Frank Smith.
Wow, that's me and Pete's pick. Very good job. Me and Pete both have Frank Smith going there.
I think
Boom.
Moore takes the job.
Kellen Moore. Ooh, that's one way to prove yourself.
That's
Kellen
a
Moore.
that's a spicy pick right there.
That is a spicy pick. I like that. And the last one, Tennessee. Well, my prediction for Tennessee isn't any good now, so I'll do Raheem Morris for Tennessee now.
I'm gonna go with Joe Brady goes and coaches the Titans. They figure it out.
They steal him from the Bills, and he's the interim head coach, the interim OC for the Bills. He's not even the OC; he's the interim OC.
Yep. I think that they give him an offer he can't refuse, and they know that they need a good head coach.
Spicy meatball right there. What do you think, Raymond?
For the Bills, or not the Bills. I'm sorry. The Titans, right?
Yep.
Yes, I think New York Giants OC Mike Kefka.
Good. Take him. See ya.
Exactly. Bye.
He's going to be the head coach of the Senior Bowl. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, and that's kind of what made me pivot to really thinking that this guy's going to get a job somewhere.
Good.
If he's being looked at to do some shit like this, I think people are looking at what he did with Tyrod, what he did with DeVito, what he did with that shitbag Jones. I think guys are looking at it like, oh, he was able to take something out of nothing, and they're going to give him a shot, and they're going to give him a chance to be a coach.
It can happen. I just think this year he was poop. I just think he's bad this year. But yeah, we'll see. So that's kind of the coaching carousel. Let's kind of get into a little bit of Yankee stuff. It's not the hot stove right now. It is cold stove. Me and Pete were thoroughly convinced that the Yankees would have a closer and maybe Snell in here last week, and neither.
Boy, were we wrong.
boy, were we wrong is right. Jordan Hicks ended up going to San Francisco because they're going to convert him to be a starter. So that's really interesting. Um, yeah, you didn't hear about that?
Oh,
They're going to convert him to a starter. How crazy is that?
that
I thought it was a no-brainer
is
on his
amazing.
part because he's so young. He's like 25 or 26, and they gave him a 4-year deal. And if he proves himself as a starter, he's going to make 3 times more the amount as a starter versus a relief pitcher.
Yeah, I mean
He'll get a longer deal.
that's why he's doing it. So
That's exactly why he's doing it. The Yankees were never, no other team, I feel like, was ever going to give him a starting option in a rotation. So the Giants just said, hey, we'll give you the opportunity to be able to be a starter here.
yeah,
And
because they can't sign anybody.
yeah,
So I mean, it doesn't look like Monty's coming back. It looks like he's going back to Texas, and why would he want to come back? We just fucking shipped him off like he was dog shit. But I mean, Blake Snell, John actually showed me something earlier today, and it definitely needs to be brought up as a topic here. Blake Snell is looking for a contract of $270 million.
Yeah.
Um,
Boris thinks that he can turn water into wine.
yeah, Boris is hired. He's
well,
not,
listen, I think
not
that
getting anywhere near that.
I think it's just so weird because he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, great, the best lefty pitcher in the league. I understand he's had a little bit of an injury history. I don't get it. I understand why he feels that value. Um, I think that in a hot market, he deserves that value, but he's not gonna get that. I don't even know if he even gets 2.25. He might just get like between 190 to like 210. I don't get it. But I think that these teams are not overpaying.
What did Rodon
He's
get?
playing the market. It's simply a market game. He knows that coming off the year he had, he's the best pitcher available. So he's saying, "Yeah, fuck you, pay me."
What did Rodon? What did we pay Rodon?
6
160?
years, 162 million.
162.
Okay.
160.
He's gonna sign for like 180 somewhere.
Which is like so weird because I do think that he deserves more than that. But due to the Yankees payroll, and I understand that they should never care about the payroll, it is tough to add multiple guys that are getting paid $30+ million in your rotation, and you got 2 of them with a no trade clause, and one of them doesn't look good. So if you add another guy that doesn't look good, you got 2 guys that you can't trade. So I've seen a lot of reports that they're waiting for the price to drop to see and play out the market. And if he falls into their lap, they would be willing to pull the trigger. But yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna give this guy
Let's speak that into existence. Let the ceiling fall, the bottom fall out on the market, and then we scoop them up for 160. Are you with that?
I
would be.
I was reading.
I'll
I was
adjust
reading
my
today
New
that-
York Yankees bow tie here, thanks to good friend Lauren here hooked it up. So let's make that happen.
I was reading today that they're more so inclined to say like, "Hey, we're out on Blake Snell because he's too expensive. We're out on Hader. We're out on we're going to roll with what we got, and then come the trade deadline, we're going to go after Cease and what's his face,
Burns.
Or Burns.
Well, we were saying that before we went on air that I feel like the asking price for both of them is going to be significantly lower come deadline. So, I mean, if we could weather the storm and make that move, all right, I'll take that.
I think that the Yankees are just trying to really hold their money to just throw the biggest offer at Juan Soto so he doesn't leave. I think that's really what
it's also we're gonna speak that into existence too. So if it means not signing Blake Snell for $200 million and it means that we lock up Juan Soto for 10 years, 12 years, $550 million.
You're good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that guy is? A
guarantee. Well, you guys were not here last week, so what is your guys' reaction to the Yankees signing Marcus Stroman? You guys talk about that. I'll be right back. I have to head to the bathroom real quick.
Yes,
I'm about to go on a great rant, and you're going to leave?
I'll be able to
Okay,
hear it.
fine. Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, good.
I'll be able
I
to hear
am so fucking amped for Stroman because it tells me one thing. And it started with Verdugo, and now with Stroman, the Yankees are back to being bad boys. Like it's enough of this clean cut. We're cool. We're so nice and no beards. And like no. Now we got this gangster with a do rag under his helmet out there throwing pitches, yelling "fuck you" to everybody. Now we got Verdugo with
he
his
doesn't wear a
buttons.
helmet, Ray. Wrong sport.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't wear a helmet.
We
Yeah,
know.
where's that
We
pitching
know
helmet?
what
He wears the pitching helmet.
Stop it.
Swear to God, look up Marcus Stroman right now. He wears that padded pitching helmet that pitchers are wearing this year.
really.
Oh, what a loser. What
Hey,
a
man, listen, I can't. I actually fucking hated him in the few prior weeks because they were like, oh, they may potentially be in on Marcus Stroman. I'm like, this is the guy that we want to fucking sign after he just completely just ripped into the fan base. And then this guy just came here like no, so nonchalant and goes, oh yeah, here I am. I'm actually
home. I'm home.
I'm sorry, but I'll prove you guys wrong that I'm not gonna be an asshole and actually pitch good for you. So you know what?
And you know what? I hope he is.
He doesn't have any
I hope
fear.
he's out
So
there. I hope he's out there flipping people off,
I
throwing
agree.
pitches at people's fucking heads, taking their heads out. Like I hope in the first game against the Red Sox, he just fucking pings one right off anybody and just says,
yes,
like, I want that bad boy image back.
He is gonna get shelled. He's gonna give up 6 homers, and he's gonna be out 4 innings.
You know, but as long as he's out there cursing people out, I'm cool with it.
he's really
I'm cool
listen.
with
He's not.
I hope he convinces Judge to get the NY tattooed right on his fucking neck.
Every third strikeout.
Yes. Yeah. Screaming like a banshee on the mound. I love it.
He is not a Cy Young type pitcher, but he is the perfect middle guy in a rotation.
Yeah.
You're
going to lose
go 6 solid innings. I don't think he's a guy that could ever go the distance of 9 innings.
You're not going to get complete games out of him.
Yeah, you're never going to get a complete game out of him, but you will.
Need an eater, somebody that consistently gets you.
Yes. He is a guy that can give you 6 innings on numerous games that he pitches. And listen, show me you can pitch in the playoffs, man, and I'm all for you.
Let's make the playoffs.
He hasn't had the opportunity to be on a team that make the playoffs. That's the problem. But I think, even with him, like, you're going to lose him for a little bit to injury, right? He's very injury prone. We've discussed at length that he's not that like guy that has the greatest track record for innings pitched, but he's been in conversation every year. He's not a bad pitcher.
He's only 5'8".
Oh yeah, he's a little dude.
Yeah, he's not a tall guy, but he's got
scrappy.
some grit. He's got some grit. He's Napoleon complex for sure.
Oh my God.
I am kind of excited for him. He was an all-star last year. He didn't have bad numbers for a middle rotation guy. A lot of people are kind of upset that, we didn't get Blake Snell. But you know what? Maybe it's kind of a writing on the wall that you don't want to give out 6, 8, 10, 12-year contracts to half your fucking team because you're just mortgaging the future. And what happens when you do that? If you ain't winning, then you're stuck. You're stuck. So they gave him a 2-year deal. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, 2-year with a third option. So
Yep. I like the deal.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think at first I wasn't too keen on it, but looking through it, I'm okay with it. It gives us flexibility. especially middle to back of the rotation. I mean, now it's on Rodon to sink or swim. Hopefully, it was just a year of acclimating to New York. His back was acting up, and hopefully, a full postseason off, Rodon can step up to be that number 2 next to Cole. Because I mean, Zach and I talked about this last week. Rodon was a legit number 1 on 2 previous teams for the Sox and the Giants. So,
yeah, listen, I think that due to his past season, I never thought he was ready. I think he was still pitching injured. You could see how much off his fastball was. He had 3 to 4 miles per hour off of his fastball. I mean, the guy hits up to 100, 101 in previous years. And last year he was sitting at like 96, 97. And it was just he's not a guy that has a lot of movement. He just blows it past you.
Yeah.
And when you're hitting 96, 97 miles an hour, which is, sounds really fast, but when it's a flat coming down the fucking heart of the plate, you're going to get shelled.
You're going to get smacked around. Exactly. So,
and he doesn't have that many pitches. So, I'm hoping that he can return to his old form. We got the guy for another 5 more years.
We're stuck with him. So
we're stuck with him. So you have to hope for him to bounce back and
hopefully this is
adapt to New York. So I don't think
a Carl Pavano type situation. So,
oh man, yeah.
So,
I hope that this isn't gonna fire back and bite us in the ass, because you know what? At the time being, from that offseason, that was the right move. Everyone wanted Carlos Rodon. So that's nothing you could point a finger at Cashman for. As much as there's a lot I point at him in most recent history, that's something that myself, I was
the best available pitcher.
He was the best pitcher on the market. So no one couldn't shit on the front office for that move. It was the right move. He got hurt and he just pitched like shit last year. I think his back was really bothering him. But I hope that he just bounces back this year. He has a full off season to,
get healthy. He's already in Tampa. So he's already in Tampa.
He's already in Tampa. Okay.
So is Nestor. So I like the sound of that. I also saw that Cashman went on the record saying that they expect Jason Dominguez back by sometime in the summer. So they're saying mid to late summer. So
I'm starting to hear even earlier than that. They were actually they said I saw a video of Boone saying about a month and a half ago that, quote unquote, we expect Jason Dominguez to be a spring training player in spring training. So I said, what does that mean? Participant player. Those are, words are words, but those are some strong words to be shoving to the media. Listen, I don't think that anyone is going to have full eyes on it, because everyone is, blushing over Juan Soto and, excited to have a top 3 player in your lineup. But this guy, we can't just get blinded off of a guy like Jason Dominguez. This guy is the future in the outfield. So
he stepped in and immediately proved that he can play. So
yeah,
but I wanted to, now that Zach's back, I wanted to get back to how Ray talked about Stroman saying that he was the attitude adjustment that the Yankees needed, and that he wanted, hopefully it rubbed off on Aaron Judge. And Zach and I last week said, we want our Aaron Judge. We want him tatted up, neck down to arms. We want a do-rag on his head, and we want him smoking a cigarette. That's the Aaron Judge that we want coming into this season. So
I want the whole team to look like that. I want that whole
They
image
need
to
to
just
be
be.
they need to be villains, man. Like we are way too nicey nice. Like we
In
need
the
to
dugout,
be assholes.
ripping burners, putting them out on kids' heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I hate this whole 75-year-old friendly little pickup game. Oh yeah, let's pat ourselves on the back. No, no.
Yeah,
I'm ready for blood.
I'm done with Aaron Boone bringing out milk and cookies after every game,
Every
reading a
fucking game.
bedtime story. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm done.
I want Boone. I still want Boone out there fucking doing this, fucking getting thrown out of games. I want Boone to get thrown out of one game every week. That's what I want.
At minimum.
At minimum.
That's a requirement. Just have him go up to any umpire and just go, "Hey, you fucking suck."
First opening day.
Yeah,
First
opening day.
pitch,
Tell an umpire to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
hits on his face.
Dude,
It's just
first
so,
pitch. I
so
want him to
crazy
walk
how,
out there first pitch and just kick dirt on the home plate, flip the umpire off, and then walk right to the dugout.
the quick
Imagine Yankee Stadium would erupt.
Erupt.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, it's just so crazy how fast the off season goes. I guess we're just we
It's
get
quick.
so deep into football
There's
because
no
we're
off season. I mean, it's just freaking October.
we're less than a month
football
out from pitchers and
and-
catchers. I'm like, dude, what? Like, holy shit.
winter meetings.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let us get to our divisional predictions, and then we'll do players of the week, and then kind of wrap it up from there. So first game on the slate for the weekend is Texans Ravens. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Ravens at home here. I do love me the Texans. I think they've proven a lot of people wrong. I think going into Baltimore is going to be a challenge for the rookie. And CJ Stroud has struggled this year against elite defenses, and Baltimore is one of the best defenses in all of football. That's why my team has been interviewing their defensive backs coach to be our defensive coordinator. I'll take any coach off of Baltimore staff, please and thanks. So I will go with the Ravens.
Upset of the week right here. Mark it down. CJ Stroud, put the respect on the man's name. He goes out on the road, rookie quarterback, wins a playoff game again. See you in the AFC Championship.
I agree. I think that this kid, I said it before the draft started. I have a handful of names that can back me up. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft, and everyone looked at me crazy. They said, "Oh, but the history with Ohio State quarterbacks." I said, if this guy shits the bed and he sucks, I will never, ever talk about an Ohio State quarterback ever again. But give me this one chance. This kid beyond exceeded expectations. And listen, last week, aren't the Browns a good defense? What did they finish this year?
Elite defense.
Elite defense. So see, like that narrative of he can't play against good defenses, he just proved it last week. Now I get it, the Browns were away, but I'm taking the Texans to upset the Ravens.
So I was on the train. I was. And then John just reminded me that I fucking hate Ohio State quarterbacks. I'm sticking with Zacho. We're going Lamar and the Ravens, baby. 2 versus 2.
CJ Stroud is a dog, and he is going to be off his leash when he plays this weekend.
Next, the Packers and the 49ers. 49ers are coming off the bye. Should be nice and healthy.
49ers next.
Yeah, I'm picking 49ers.
MC, 3 tutties next.
I hope a fucking bomb hits that stadium. just the national anthem ends. They're like, okay, let's get this game started. And a fucking Harrier strike just comes and just
On
turns
YouTube.
them to dust.
Let it be
Fuck
known.
both those
YouTube,
teams. I hate both of them.
Spotify, the views and thoughts of that man underneath me or to the side or wherever he is on the screen does not reflect anything on this podcast, any of the views. It's solely on him. And if something does happen, God forbid, find him.
Listen,
If the CIA or the FBI is looking out for anyone, my name is on here. So I'll hang out.
I'll hang out.
You guys want to, go to trial.
Listen,
I'm right here.
Listen, this podcast and this YouTube channel is marked as explicit. So we're allowed to pretty much say whatever we want. So
Yep. But I'm taking the 49ers.
okay.
If the game happens,
Next is the Bucks versus the Lions in Detroit. I'm taking the Detroit Lions. They have so much momentum. This feels like a magical team with a possible magical year. I think they halt the Baker Mayfield led Buccaneers here.
Dan Campbell got those boys gassed up. Detroit Rock City, keep it moving. I want to hear everybody in the crowd singing "Lose Yourself" again with Eminem going fucking wild. Let's run it back again. This time Jahmyr Gibbs gets in the mix. Tutties all around.
I last week picked a lot of favorites. My heart says the Lions. I want to pick the Lions, and I think everyone wants to pick the Lions. But Vegas likes to make their money, so I'm going with the Buccaneers in the upset.
No, we already got our money with Houston.
No, they like more. They like more money.
They like more.
That's not that's not the game. This is not the game.
I kind of agree.
The Lions will probably, but don't just remember. I'm just letting you know. Just remember, if that happens,
you heard it first.
You heard it from this guinea.
Oof.
Raymond.
I am also gonna go with the upset here and pick the Bucks. I think their momentum is good, and listen. My heart wants Detroit to win. I want to see Detroit go.
I agree.
But you're talking a Bucks team that has Godwin, Mike Evans, Rashad White. Like, these guys are just they're weathered. They know what to do out there. I mean, Mike Evans is going to go out there and get 3 catches for 130 yards, like he always does. It's going to be big catches because he's just out there. I mean, he's getting paid already. But
did anyone see the report of the reporter asking Todd Bowles, how do you get your team prepared for this week to go into the cold weather in Detroit?
Fucking freezing in Detroit, man. Have you not been there?
It's in a dome.
That reporter should not be allowed to be in any NFL room.
I hope Dan Campbell breaks the heat and he fucking rips a hole in the stadium.
Dude, somebody said in one of our group chats that he drinks every morning like 1,100 what is it called? Milligrams of caffeine every fucking morning.
Oh,
that's a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, listen, he's used to playing the league. His body's probably used to being fucking juiced up, He's probably just used to it. So
that's absurd.
It is absurd. So finally, Chiefs Bills, game of the week, easily rematch again. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes.
This is where Vegas gets their money, baby. Upset Chiefs Kingdom. Here we come.
Wow, I'm going Bills. I think
I'm
the
taking the
Bills.
Chiefs.
Wow. I'm taking the
This
Bills.
is the game. This is the game where I hope Bane walks out in the middle of the national anthem, clicks the button, and then the stadium disappears. This is
Great
the
minds
game.
think alike. We got
I
our eyes on
mean,
a couple of games this weekend.
Control of your city, Buffalo.
look at the name change. Look at the name change. Um,
Do you
it's
feel in charge?
it's so like these two teams are so annoying. They don't deserve to be there. They limped into the playoffs and they got there out of just mediocrity, right? And, I mean, Stephon Diggs doesn't want to be a Bill. Kelsey is going to retire with his brother probably and Mahomes is the only bit of talent, but he's such a little baby back bitch after this year that no one respects him anymore. Either one of these teams, I don't care. I want whoever wins this week. I hope you get beat in a horrible fashion next week.
All right, I got to bring up the game changer here because the Ed Hockley is repping this game.
And he usually favors the Chiefs, right?
So there was a stat that Mahomes, like the Chiefs are like undefeated in the playoffs when he is the head ref, and the Buffalo Bills when he's the head ref are like they're most penalized, like 275 yards of penalties against them. It is cooked. It's in the books. You heard it first right here.
Wow. Well, that's a very interesting development. So I may have to pick the Chiefs then in my money lines. Who do you guys will think be the player of the week?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like out of all these games, you got to think like it's either CMC or Evans has like a monster game.
It's right in front of you, man. It's right in front of you. It's fucking Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good one.
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to go Josh Allen.
All right, head to head. I like it.
Head to head. All right.
Upset. Sleeper pick.
Sleeper pick. George Kittle.
All right.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
George.
I'm gonna go Odell Beckham.
Wow, OBJ. Okay.
Evan Singletary.
Get out of my brain. Out of my brain. So since you said that,
You pick it too.
He's gonna go James Cook
I'm
instead.
gonna go something different. I'm gonna go something different on this one, and I am gonna go with. Got it.
You're
Nico
gonna
Collins.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams, the guy who hasn't even shown up ever once, besides bet on his.
He's probably sitting at a blackjack table right now gambling. Fucking degenerate loser.
coach of the week.
Okay. Like, you're just upset because he has more money to gamble with.
Yes.
I think coach of the week is gonna be that guy, Jonathan Puccio.
With the headset on?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go 42 flanker right wham flex on one, Jared. Let's do it.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Let's see if any of these predictions come true. Let's see if we get any positive Yankee news. Let's see if there's any upsets. Let's see if there's any coaching news. Lot could happen here in the next week. Hopefully next week we could get Dan back on here because his presence has been missed on this podcast.
Dan, we miss you. We miss you.
We miss Dan on here. His elderly knowledge is always appreciated here. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh, I'm gonna right now shout out Fucking CJ Stroud is gonna be my dog of the week too. After he tears apart, he's gonna have a fucking day.
He's the dog of the week.
Yeah, my big pick, Patrick Mahomes, is gonna be right up there with CJ Stroud.
All right. Well,
Jared Goff shits the bed.
oh,
Just like that.
okay. That's nice. That's really good. All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for being on here tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, hearing all the nonsense and insanity of the channel/page all the time. So with that being said, peace out.